Welcome back, everybody. It's Prime Tackle Sports. Week 3 of the NFL is here, and holy crap, the injuries are piling up like something I've never seen before. I mean, this week we lost Pacheco. Kittle's hurt right now.
CMC, Debo,
AJ
CMC,
Brown, Keenan Allen.
McCaffrey,
The list can go
T.
on
Higgins.
and on. Yeah, the list. That's just offensive players too. We already lost Jordan Love. But kind of keeping on the topic of injuries. I know you wanted to speak on the latest one that's probably looked really scary for you that watched it last Thursday. Tua went down with another concussion. This, I believe, is his third or fourth since entering the pros. And he did, it sounds mean saying it now, he did the Tua again with his fingers and hands, and he went into the right into Damar Hamlin. And, you saw him kind of go limp for a second, and you saw the fingers go, and they knew right away, pull him out. Everyone was on their knees, and the energy around the Dolphins locker room is, hey, he's doing great. We're not rushing him back. We're going with Skylar Thompson. We'll fill in, but no rush. Put him on IR. Let's get your thoughts about that, how this affects the organization, the NFL as a whole, and just how we view concussions, because it is serious.
Yeah, it's very serious because, to me, I don't feel like I've ever seen anything like this watching 24 years of football. This kid, he comes out last year or 2 years ago. We all saw it. He got a concussion. I forget which week, but it was against
Cincinnati.
It was against Buffalo, and then on Sunday, and then he came, and then they cleared concussion protocol and played the following Thursday, 4 days apart from the game.
That's right.
And then he obviously got knocked out in that game in 2022, where we saw the scariest version of him when he got knocked out. And then fast forward 2 years later. And, the same thing happened again. It wasn't as bad as it was, but, Rain still went unconscious. His arms did the thing, And, it's really sad to see because he's a young, good player. He seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders, and sometimes there's just not a lot of things you can do to prevent those things. Football's a physical sport, but to me, I feel like what Miami, the approach that the coaches said, I feel like there's no timeline for an injury like that, because... No. I'm a big MMA fan, and when a fighter gets knocked out, like even TKO'd but knocked out cold, they need at least 9 months to recover. In my opinion, they need 9 months of just resting,
Yes.
Not even training, like maybe some small training, some workouts and stuff, but take all the time you need to recover. But yeah, to me, a lot of people are saying he needs to retire. He needs to hang up the cleats, and put football aside because he did get his money. But I don't think Tua's really viewing it that way. He even came out and said that he doesn't want to retire. And, I agree. I don't, for me at least, it's not our decision to make. It's no one's decision to make but his. But like I view it, I feel like just take all the time you need. Don't even put a timeline on it.
They're not rushing him back, like I said. So
they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Even if he doesn't, I feel like he shouldn't even come back this year. I feel like he should at least take this year off. But to tell someone that they should retire, I feel like it's
not your call.
It's no one's call. Even the guys like certain coaches, like the Raiders head coach, he's like, I think he should just retire. There's a lot of things more important than football. That's for sure. And he's got a beautiful family. He's a great kid. He seems like a great person, and I don't want to see that happen to him again. But to me, I feel like he just needs to take the time, recover, be with his family. And not even think about football, just rest, recover, get well, get his mind right, because you see it, like the brain works in a very smart way, because when you take hits, your brain will shut off for protecting itself, that's why you get knocked out, so your brain protects yourself. Yeah. And it's just going to happen more frequently now that he's had those 3 bad concussions, and
yes,
the brain will shut off even quicker, it's a natural reaction. And I'm a big MMA guy. Like I said, I love boxing, combat sports, and I train personally. Luckily, I haven't had any bad head injuries like that, no KOs or anything. Right. But I know guys personally that have, and you see them in their late 30s and early 40s, and they're fine, but they're slurring their words. They're not the same. Yeah. Their speech isn't as good, and it's just a testament to what these athletes put themselves through week in and week out, and that's why I'm a big believer in it's no one's decision but his, So prayers up to Tua. I hope he takes all the time he needs, and I hope he does come back because he's a great player.
Yeah.
And whenever that is, even if he doesn't come back, that's fine. You know, he's probably gonna make the best decision he can. But I don't think it's the last we've seen of him.
No, he's in the locker room. They say spirits are high as they could be in the situation, and like you said, you go on Instagram and Twitter and all that, and people are dogging on him and stuff, and this is serious stuff. This is a guy's life, and being paid millions of dollars. Yeah, that's awesome and all, but the overall health is such an issue nowadays. And a couple years ago we saw the NFL take concussions way more seriously than recent years, and now it's just kind of out there for the world to see. Like, hey, this happens more so than not. If you take a hard hit nowadays, especially in the NFL, they'll pull you for a couple games or a couple plays, put you in the 10, and bring you back out there. But prayers up for Tua. Hope he has a speedy recovery, because we know the Dolphins and the organization, the NFL wants to see him out there.
Yeah, and football too. It's you got soccer where it's a gentleman's game played by beasts. Yeah, right. Rugby, it's a gentleman's game played by beasts, but in football, it's a beastly game played by beasts. So it's not a sport where you can just play around and just say whatever and come back. Like I said, take his time, come back. And like you said too, the injury bug is crazy right now, and you look at certain teams that are really low in certain positions in depth, like the Miami Dolphins at quarterback, the Giants at kicker,
49ers, Rams.
But you're going to see a lot of guys now, and we'll bleed out of this, but you're going to see a lot of guys now, a lot of teams now start to bring up guys from practice squad. You saw the Chiefs do it with Kareem Hunt. That's kind of, a testament to, maybe they're not as confident as they are in Carson Steele. But you're going to see a lot of guys from the practice squad be moved around these next couple of weeks. You're going to see a lot of more injuries these next couple of weeks. But coming from Tua's perspective and the Tua injury, prayers up to him, and hopefully he comes back soon.
And we know they have to keep playing, which is really unfortunate. The game goes on with or without him, and speedy recovery for all that. But how does this affect the Dolphins as a whole? Offensively, everyone's kind of taking a dip. Defensively, they're going to be on the field maybe more. But this Skylar Thompson guy's been on the field or been on the Dolphins for a few years. So
it affects them. It affects them a lot. It affects them a lot because that's a position, like I said, where they're not strong in depth.
Yeah.
So you're going to see maybe a trade happen this year with the Dolphins at quarterback. You're going to see, you'll see guys. Yeah, you got Bryce Young getting benched, and there's talks of him getting traded, but I don't feel like that's going to happen. But like I said, you're going to see a lot of guys from the practice squad, and that's a thing that the Dolphins are really low in depth on is quarterback, and that's, like I said, other teams are low in depth, like the Giants at kicker. They didn't kick a field goal last week, so
they lost.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. I hope. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. I hope there's no more scary injuries like that, even though it's it's unavoidable in the NFL. But yeah,
we'll hope that like I said, the Dolphins are saying his morale is really high. They're keeping a positive energy, and we hope to see him back on the field.
Yeah, and
very, very soon.
Yeah, and he walked off the field on his own, which is good to see. But I mean, it's still a bad injury. Yeah, very bad injury. Very bad. The head and the brain is the most important thing. It's the most important thing you have.
Yeah.